The world needs startups because humans are evolving. Our world is evolving.
We want to help startups succeed in their business goals. They just have to focus on delivering their best work possible, and we take care of everything else.
We share
the world needs startups because humans are evolving. Our world is evolving.
We want to help
or connecting them to opportunities or relationships.
We're not doing this because we think we're going to make a lot of money. We're doing it because we think we should give opportunity to people regardless of where they come from.
There's a huge emotional impact on the startups that we are fortunate enough to serve, and that really revolves around them oftentimes being seen for the very first time.
We don't view ourselves as investors who just invest in entrepreneurs. We view ourselves as evangelists, supporters, cheerleaders.
Every startup that comes through our door will ask them, where's your market? Where do you want to go? What we really want to hear is, we want to impact the world.
Startup ecosystem builders raise a platform for us as a company to be entrepreneurial,
solve problems,
drive growth,
literally change the world.
The success of our business is really a testament to the support that we've been provided. And I think when you look at the collective effort of all of our parts, like, who knows what we can make this.
The world needs.
I think as a startup, you really need community. You need people to understand your journey and to share experiences and bounce ideas back and forth. And 92 Express is a great melting pot. People from various backgrounds and entrepreneurship come together and share that experiences, which is invaluable.
92 Express, they do have a lot of network with all the factories, Kickstarters, and maybe incubator as well. So I think it's a very good network for the whole picture.
When we are actually in visiting the different locations, we have really good idea and experience and exchange, and also have an opportunity to ask questions with the manufacturer about the particular challenges, the industry, market practices and norms, and etc.
It was very nice to see a program that really focuses on hardware and helping us, try to connect with people and also connect with factories to just understand better the industry, but also potentially help us create and make our concepts into a reality.
It's a very fruitful journey from a networking, sharing perspective, as well as getting to know some of the technical details and the industry experience.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Cocoon Pitch. I'm Hannah, and we're really happy to have you at our live pitch event.
大家好，我係 Mancy，歡迎大家參加我哋第96次嘅創業擂台。
Cocoon Pitch is a platform for startups to showcase their ideas, attract potential investment, business partners, or get more publicity. We welcome all global founders to apply to pitch. Our next round pitch will be on July 22nd and August 19th. So if you would like to pitch or continue hearing more innovative and disruptive ideas, be sure to mark it down on your calendars. Now, I need to share with you some really exciting news. We'll be having our 100th Cocoon Pitch in October, and we've planned a really big celebration on that day. So be sure to reserve your tickets and stay tuned.
我哋 Cocoon Pitch 係一個平台，讓創業家展示佢哋嘅創業點子，從而獲得投資嘅機會，尋找合作伙伴，增加曝光率。我哋歡迎世界各地嘅創業家參加我哋嘅 Cocoon Pitch。下一次嘅創業擂台會係7月22號同埋8月19號，而嚟緊咧10月就係迎接我哋第100次嘅創業擂台啦。到時候咧，我哋就會有好大型嘅party celebrate， 咁大家快啲去登記，千祈唔好錯過啦。
Before we begin our pitches, let's introduce our investor panel. Please welcome Ms. Erica Ma and Mr. Roland Yao, Managing Partner of Cocoon Ignite Ventures.
歡迎今日嘅 investor panel。
Each pitch team will have 5 minutes to pitch, followed by 5 minutes Q&A from the investor panel. At the final minute of the presentation, we will remind the presenter. When the time is up, we will move on to the Q&A session.
每個隊伍可以有5分鐘嘅匯報時間同埋5分鐘嘅問答環節。我哋喺最後1分鐘嘅時候會提示隊伍。
Hey Nancy, I know that besides pitching, Cocoon has other online events and resources. Can you tell us what they are?
好啊，如果你都想知道我哋嘅 community 嘅內容咧，例如 Judges Insider Tips 啊，過往 Cocoon Pitch 嘅 pitching 內容，又或者係一啲 startup tutorials 嘅話咧，你可以 subscribe 我哋嘅 YouTube channel HK Cocoon。當然啦，撳埋個鐘仔，咁我哋出新片嘅時候咧，你就會第一時間知道啦。
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel HK Cocoon. On there, you will find Cocoon pitch highlights, judges, insiders tips, startup tutorials, and founder stories. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so that you'll be the first to know whenever there's new content.
哇，真係好正咁啊！我都要 subscribe 先啊！好啦，事不宜遲，我哋馬上邀請第一個嘅隊伍 RoboDeck。佢哋係一個用於保養木甲板嘅自主機械人嘅解決方案。
Our first team, RoboDeck, is developing an autonomous robotic solution for wooden deck maintenance. Let's pass the time to Gal. Gal, you can unmute yourself and share screen.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you. So hi everybody. RoboDeck is developing an autonomous robotic solution for wooden deck maintenance. Our first market is the US market. This yet to be disruptive deck maintenance markets hold $10 billion in annual spending for the US alone. With over 50 million existing decks and 3 million new decks being built each year, there is no one company that holds even 1% of this market. It's clear this market calls for disruptions. Robotics have been cleaning our pools, maintaining our lawns, and vacuuming our living rooms, but yet to address one of the most expensive portions of our homes, our wooden decks. This is exactly what RoboDeck is doing. Let's first understand the problem. Wooden decks require ongoing maintenance to keep their vivid looks and longevity. Today's manual solution is both labor-intensive and time-consuming, which makes it inheritably expensive. To make things even worse, the current solution doesn't really solve the problem. Say you invested the resources and treated your deck, it would look great when you finish, but then 3-4 months later, it doesn't look so good, and a year later, it must be treated again. So actually, most of the time, decks look unkept. Let me explain how we solve the problem. But first, what we see here is the result of our 12 months experiment, clearly proving that the patented method we developed works. The marked control group deck tiles degraded much further than the treated tiles. Like most robotic solutions, we address the problem a bit differently, leveraging the robot's free labor. We developed a method where each month the robot will perform incremental maintenance, carrying out the grunt work of cleaning and staining the deck. The result is a pristine look at all times. The robot navigates underneath and around the furniture, keeping it a hassle-free solution. A docking station provides electric charging and staining agent refilling. The robot uses proprietary stain capsule each time it operates. Selling this capsule generates ongoing revenue from its customers, similar to the Nespresso coffee capsules. I'm Gal, and RoboDeck is my third startup. Together with Ran, who has 20 years of experience in developing robotic lawnmowers and vacuum cleaners, we founded RoboDeck. Our elite engineering team built a fully functional prototype using autonomous technology and computer vision. Lately, we filed our patent, and servicing beta sites is our next step. With all the progress made so far, we are now ready for our next funding round. It's not often you come across a simple yet sound problem in a huge market with vast amount of money involved. then discovering this market is a completely blue ocean, relying on technology nearly 100 years old. If you want to explore this B2B and B2C blue ocean opportunity, I'm happy to connect and share lots more info. Before I finish, I want to show off our latest version in action. Sit back and enjoy the magic. If you may have interest investing in our current funding round and adding to the $1 million already commitment, there is still some room left. Please contact me in this email or through Kakuna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gal. Let's hear from the panel. Please turn on your mic.
Great.
Yeah. Congratulations. Awesome product. I'm a huge fan of all things robotic that you can use at home or at work. So can you tell us about the cost per unit? How much does it cost and how much are we selling? And what is your distribution strategy?
Yeah, sure. So we target the robots to be sold to the end user at $1,000, which is less than an annual maintenance cost. And our bill of material is under $300. We plan to distribute it at the beginning directly to consumer via online, leveraging Amazon's logistics, and later on, when we scale, to put it in the hardware stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, and even in stores like Best Buy, so on.
Got it. So approximately $1,000 per unit retail. So I'm guessing it's industrial grade. Do you guys sell like like replaceables? Like, do you sell filters? Do you sell batteries? Is there anything that I need to buy on a subscription basis in order to keep my machine going?
So first of all, to give a comparison, the home consumer robots for pool cleaning and vacuum and lawn mowing are more than $1,000 usually, just to put things in perspective.
Yes.
In terms of consumables, every consumer that buys the robot subscribes to a steady supply of stain capsules. Each time the robot operates, it needs a stain capsule that covers 50 square meters or about 500 square feet. And selling these capsules generates ongoing revenue from the customers. On one hand, on the other hand, it's still 80% cheaper than having somebody come and do the service for you. So it's a better solution at a cheaper price.
Thank you, Gal. I'm going to turn it over to Roland.
Great, thank you, Erica. Hey, Gal. My first question is, have you started the sales process yet? And if so, what are your first kind of set of customers, your first cohort of customers?
Yeah, so because it's a consumer product, it needs a very high level of maturity. So what we decided to do, instead of selling direct to consumer at the beginning, when we are in very early stages, we decided to offer a service based on the robot by professionals. What we did so far is we partnered with 4 different service providers in the US, in Israel, in Canada, and in Australia to service the robot, to service decks using the robot. And the idea is that the professional comes with the robot every month to visit the deck location, and the robot operates very fast. As you saw in the video, it covers 50 square meters in 15 to 30 minutes. And that means that a single robot can do up to 100 decks a month. This will provide us both feedback from the customer's revenue and feedback for the R&D to mature the product towards its consumer play, which is the long-term play.
And I have thank you for that. I've got two follow-up questions on that. The first one is, given the efficiency your robot can bring to maintaining these decks, the current service providers, are they seeing an increase in their business because they're using your robot, and therefore that speed at which you just described is benefiting them? And the second follow-on is, you mentioned in your pitch a B2B strategy. You had pictures of hotels, lots of resorts. That seems to be a very obvious market. So in that sense, you're talking about B2C, but there seems to be a bigger opportunity there. So what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so the professionals that work with a robot they need to address like a huge amount of decks in relation to what they're used to do. Like an average professional would usually service 15 to 20 decks a year. They need to speed up to 100 decks. None of them managed to catch up yet with the capacity. So it's like a huge opportunity for them, and they're very excited about it. In terms of the B2B and B2C, so what we think is the B2B play is actually working with these professionals that I described. We started partnering with, and not addressing directly the hotels and the offices. And we do think this is more scalable. Instead of just reaching out to each and every hotel, is working with professionals that have reach to many others. So service is a little bit slower in scaling, and this method will allow us to scale a little bit faster.
Got it. Thank you very much, Gal. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, Gal.
Our next team is Teyk, and they are the only personal investment platform that provides wealth management as a service. Please welcome Timothy.
下一隊隊伍係 Teyk， 即係一個個人財富管理投資平台。我哋將時間交俾 Timothy。
So Timothy, you can unmute your mic and share screen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, is that sharing?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Tim, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Teyk. At Teyk, we provide wealth management for everyone. And if you don't make money, then we don't charge. So what that means is that we create personalized investment platforms for each customer individually. And we're so confident that we'll be able to create positive returns for each of our customers through these portfolios, that if we don't generate positive returns, we don't charge our fees. We are the first investment platform to offer this pricing structure. And to put that in context, there's $100 trillion managed around the global asset management industry today, and none of it is managed on this basis. We launched a waitlist at the back end of last year, and we've already had incredible traction with ridiculously low ad spend. So on this waitlist, we've got over 2,000 people who've signed up. Of those 2,000 people, about 30% of them have come from leads who've been referred by existing people on that waitlist. So people are referring this to their friends and family. When people come onto our website, they're signing up at about a 20% conversion rate, which is absolutely phenomenal in terms of expected standard rates. And so our cost per customer acquisition for this waitlist sign up is about $1.5, ridiculously low. We've also been helped by some very good traction in the media as well. So why are we doing all this work? Well, the retail investment space is a massive untapped opportunity. So about 50% of all people in Asia save regularly, but just with money building up in their bank account. And when you add up all of this idle cash just sat around middle-class bank accounts across Asia, there's about $5 trillion in total. So that represents about 5% of the global asset management industry just sat crying out for a solution here in Asia. And so that's where Teyk comes in. So with Teyk, You can build up and access your wealth exactly as you need it. So you can see your wealth in less than 30 seconds. We can do this by using our proprietary AI technology to make that portfolio creation incredibly quick. There's 100% flexibility, so you're not locked in. There's no surrender charges, there's no penalty fees. Everything is automated, so there's automated investment management and instant automated financial advice. And the best bit is that you can sign up with as little as 500 Hong Kong dollars. Our business model is to operate as an intermediary. And actually, financial services is very similar to many other industries that operate. And so what happens is that you have the development of options. So people don't know what to choose, and therefore an intermediary plays that role to help solve that customer selection. So much like Spotify, where you have 70 million songs, and you have your Discover Weekly to help you choose what music to listen to. Teyk, there's 10,000 ETFs. We create personalized portfolios for people to be able to have that unique personalized portfolio. And this is important because what that means is that we've used technology and automation to replace the manual intermediaries, not to remove them. So the traditional advisors, they sit in between funds and customers, and they provide that role of portfolio creation. That's exactly what we do. So we do not create the underlying products. We create personalized portfolios for third-party ETFs. This is really important because this is one of our key differentiations versus the existing competition in the automated world. Existing robo-advisors, what they do is that they remove the intermediary, and that as a result, they can only offer their own funds. What we do is that we use our automated technology to replace the intermediary to use third-party funds. So going back to that Spotify analogy, the existing robo-advisors would be like a single artist trying to create on a platform and to compete against Spotify. It just wouldn't be an attractive proposition for a customer. On top of this, we are the world's first investment platform with performance-only fees. So by providing wealth management as a service, it means that we only charge our fees when we successfully create wealth for our customers. We don't charge commissions, so when people move money in or take money out, we don't charge anything for that. And our advisory fee of 0.5% is a fraction of the industry standard when we do charge it. All of this is made possible by our unique differentiated proposition through our proprietary and end-to-end technology. And we put in a patent application to patent this in December last year. So that includes the wealth management algorithms, the trading and transaction systems, the regulatory reporting, all of the CRM and marketing automation. Our distribution strategy is B2C, so direct viral marketing, and it's already having traction. So cost per click for Teyk, about $0.25 US versus an industry average of 1 to 5. Conversion of 20% versus industry average of 3 to 5%, and referrals about 30%. Really, really encouraging early signs from this waitlist. The team, so we have a senior team of industry veterans, myself, about 14 years across financial services, Lee, my CTO and co-founder, about 15 years experience across enterprise cloud solutions, and Ronald Cheng, the business owner of a company called WellChamp, who's helping provide us on the licensing side of things. We've just opened up our second seed round. So we launched the waitlist in November, and we're looking to raise the second seed round to drive the waitlist. We put in a license application, and we're looking to launch in Q4 later this year. We're starting in Hong Kong, but we're looking to really expand across Asia, so really across Greater China and the whole of Southeast Asia. And we believe that we've got an opportunity to be a business in 10 years with 4 million customers, about 400 million annual revenue, and attractive tech-like profit margins. So that's Teyk, rightfully yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Timothy. Let's pass the time to Roland and Erica.
Hi, Timothy. Thank you for the presentation. You know, I'm a big fan of your product. But for those who are watching for the first time, could you tell us, like, how much money should we be putting into Teyk, and how do we get started, and what should we expect, say, 6 months from now?
Yeah, so I mean, what you should be saving is dependent on where you are in your financial life and what your salary is. So as a sort of rule of thumb, you could invest about 10% of your salary. And so that depends on what you're earning. For our platform, the minimum investments are only 500 Hong Kong dollars. And so what that means is actually no matter where you are in your journey, we're actually accessible to everyone.
Got it. So, you know, let's say I park, you know, I don't know, $10,000 into Teyk, and then we'll be going into buying ETFs that are recommended by Teyk?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll then create, using our AI algorithms, we'll then create a portfolio for you that is ready in 30 seconds. So there's none of this sort of even 2, 3, or 5 minutes that puts people off with the existing sign-up processes. And then, yeah, so you'll have a portfolio ready in 30 seconds that then uses existing third-party ETFs with the appropriate low fees or high performance, or to match your personality. So filters around preferences on ESG and things like that can be incorporated into the portfolio.
Got it. So is your entire onboarding process automated? So there's no need for a consumer to have to talk to anybody or do any like KYC and be able to self-set up?
So there is all of the KYC. So there's none of the human intervention, but we've fully automated that onboarding process. And we've also redesigned it such that all of the hard aspects around the KYC are saved to the end. So we can show you that portfolio before having to put in or share any of your data or your privacy. So putting in your photocopies of your ID cards and your proof of address, all of that comes after we can then create that portfolio for you. And that's one of the most innovative things in terms of the onboarding process.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Roland now.
Great. Thank you for that, Tim. Love the way you presented it. Given the strong consumer focus as your client base, can you walk us through why ETFs? What are ETFs, and how does that translate to someone that says, all right, all I know is I'm putting in $1,000 or $10,000, something's going to happen. That part of the education, can you walk us through that? And how do you do that actually en masse? I'm assuming ETF as a concept isn't obvious to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to the Spotify analogy, so you have music listeners and you have musicians, and you have Spotify acting as that intermediary. And so for us, we have savers on the left-hand side and we have investors on the right-hand side of the ETFs. The two worlds can sort of like interplay, but they don't need to understand each other. So we operate with ETFs, but customers don't need to understand the importance of why they're different or how they play through, other than the fact that they are the lowest access point for a customer to have exposure to the right funds and risk-based funds. So what that means is an ETF fee might be 0.1% or 0.2%. A mutual fund fee might be 1.5%. So it's sort of 10, 15, 20 times as high. So our entire business model is built around ETFs because it's for the benefit of the customer. And we operate as a stockbroker, which means we can access ETFs directly, and we can then remove all of the other supply chains that normally come with buying mutual funds. So that's what we operate at. So similar to how Spotify then creates Discover Weekly and it creates those unique playlists for you as a customer, we then have the technology to create those unique portfolios to create effectively sort of playlists of funds for each customer without them having to understand the nuts and bolts underneath, but just knowing that it's then appropriate and we can show what those returns look like for a customer.
I love the analogy. Thank you, Tim. Very helpful.
Thank you, Tim. So we have a few questions from the audience. So one of the audience members asked, will you be launching in UK or Europe? And there's two more questions coming up. So I'll see you later.
So we ultimately want to, but we're launching in Asia first because that's where we're starting. We believe that actually for the likes of the robo-advisors in the UK, so Nutmeg are in the US, Wealthfront or Betterfront, we've got a superior product. And so hopefully actually we'll be able to grow and get there sooner rather than later.
Thank you. So the next question is, what is the expected estimated LTV?
So the expected lifetime value of our customers is about $5,000 to $7,000 US. And the reason why that's so high is for two reasons. One, that there's an incredible amount of stickiness in the relationship with customers. This is a long-term need, and also we'll set up a lot of factors to then help promote that stickiness. So setting up a direct debit. The second reason that actually the lifetime value is then so high is because our costs are so low. So because we've automated literally everything, the average monthly cost per customer is only $1 per customer per month, which is basically free when you kind of want to round it to any number. And that's because we've created this patent pending technology. So through the patent pending technology, ridiculously low costs and a very long sticky relationship with each customer.
Thank you. And the final question is, how many data points do you capture during the sign-up process?
So we do it through a sort of chatbot conversation style, and it includes about 6 questions. But it's all very fluid, it's very conversational. And then what we do is that we create this automated recommended funds, and then customers can then personalize it any way they want. So it's a kind of like pre-populated recommendation first, that actually customers can then stretch or kind of sort of manual change. And with any change that they make, we do all of the live projections automatically. So we run through about 5 million individual simulations for each unique personalized portfolio for each customer. And then we can show that at the click of a button, so that comes up in less than a second.
Thank you, Timothy, and thank you, Roland and Erica. So we're going to move on to our next team.
Thank you.
我哋去下一隊之前咧 ，Hannah 我都想問下你喎，如果在座嘅觀眾或者投資者想同我哋嘅隊伍有深入嘅討論，佢哋可以點做咧？
They should join our Cocoon network or contact us directly if you would like to connect with any of our pitch teams. This is a free online platform where you'll be able to expand your professional network, find more innovators and pioneers, and maybe even find a suitable team to invest in. You should see the link at the chat room right now. Click the link and register an account for free.
哇，真係好正咁喎！我都要快啲 sign up 先得啦。下一隊 team 咧係 ReHealthier 係一個用人工智能技術同埋大數據嘅健康飲食分析平台同埋數字營養師。
Our next team is ReHealthier. They're a healthy eating analytic platform and digital dietitian using AI technologies and big data. Let's pass the time to Amice. So Amice, you can unmute your mic and we can see your screen now.
So Amice, you ready?
Hello. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Good afternoon. I'm Amice, the CEO of ReHealthier. Sorry. Eating is easy, but healthy eating is hard. And long-term unhealthy eating is the main cause of chronic diseases. For example, people with cruel chronic conditions have suffered much more seriously during COVID-19. And therefore, we have ReHealthier. ReHealthier analytic platform act like a portable dietitian to provide personalized healthy eating advice as according to user chronic health conditions. So to understand each user chronic health, we have what we call the AI health check. With the algorithm we train up from tens of thousands of health profile data sets, we estimate instantly the user chronic health conditions with their simple input of just body measurement, daily lifestyle, etc. And they can instantly get the health report. And the science behind AI health check is not just big data or data analytic, but also human physiology. And the reliability of our algorithms has also been tested. With user health profile being built up, our next step is to guide user healthy eating with our AI dietitian. So let's see the demo.
Hi, Amice. We didn't hear the video sound. Have you shared the sound just
Maybe
now?
Important for the prevention.
User can simply scan the menu. Eat Right will tell the user which food options are better by different color labels. Eat Right shows not only calories, but also fat, sugar, sodium, and much more, as they are important for the prevention of chronic diseases. Each user's health profile supports Eat Right AI dietitian to give personalized advice based on their health risk as well as the food they can choose. Eat Right also recognizes chain restaurant logos to provide the dietary advice based on their popular item on menu. Just scan the nutrition label. Eat Right will interpret the health implications of the product based on the user health conditions.
So what you see is our ReHealthier showcase app, which is called Eat Right. And Eat Right has been awarded in Asia Smart App last year. ReHealthier business model is B2B. Partner can subscribe ReHealthier API, and our target enterprise client include insurers, reinsurers, and also healthcare providers. They use ReHealthier to facilitate their holistic digital health platform to reduce the medical claims and to support underwriting. So in this year, we are making 600K Hong Kong dollar revenue. The revenue amount is not high, but the margin is as high as 90% as we are doing software as a nature. And our growth strategy is to first to keep existing client subscription client, increase the usage and upgrade the subscription every year. As a second is to develop distribution models in other parts of the world, for example, Canada. And the third is we are going to add more new elements to complete the healthy eating ecosystem. And this could also be the entry barrier against competitions. And we have our new solution to be launched, namely healthy meal providers, healthy meal founders. When user input a meal they prefer, the platform will detect user location and return suggest the choice of healthier replacement from restaurant nearby. And we provide aggregate reports to restaurant with actionable insight so they can design more healthy menus and get more exposure on ReHealthier platform. Our key members include myself, taking care of business and data analytics, and team on the technical side, and others like a registered dietitian and medical advisor. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, team. Let's pass the time to Roland and Erica.
Thank you, Amice. Roland and I are health fanatics, so we're mostly plant-based and we mostly bring food to work. So we totally understand the need for this sort of application. Could you tell us a bit more about who is your customer and how do they leverage your platform to generate more revenue?
Yes, so our key customer, so our revenue model is B2B. Yeah. And we target to sell our API to insurance company like China Life Insurance, and also there is another insurer in Hong Kong just signed up with us to subscribe our API to enrich their digital health platform. But the name is to be disclosed after they launch their platform. And also some other company like General Reinsurance, which is a reinsurance company. They use our AI health check to estimate the health risk of their signed insured client. That's mean to support their underwriting. Yeah.
唔好意思，問多少少關於 insurance 呢 part。咁咧，其實你點樣可以攞到用戶個資料咧？係點樣食嗰啲 data 入嚟咧？
其實我哋係透過譬如，如果我哋同保險公司合作啦，或者同其他 healthcare 公司合作啦，咁佢哋有自己嘅一啲，可能佢哋自己會有 app 啦，佢哋會有佢嘅 platform 啦。咁喺嗰度透過嗰度咧，我哋係會收集到一啲即係一啲無名 anonymous 嘅 data 咧，無名氏嘅數據，咁我哋嗰度會 keep 住 data 啦。咁當然我哋 day one 去做呢啲 algorithm 嘅時候咧，其實我哋係攞咗一啲reliable 嘅一啲 open source 嘅一啲 data set。咁嗰啲 data set 就係一啲好complete 嘅一個 health check data 同埋嗰啲人嘅健康狀況。咁喺嗰度我哋就用嚟去develop 我哋第一個 version 或者叫做初步第一二個 version 嘅 algorithm 去 develop 呢個 solution 咯。咁 in the long run 我哋希望透過 selling 同埋多啲人去用，我哋會再不斷去 collect 同埋 accumulate 多啲嘅 data 去 enrich 我哋 algorithm 嘅。
收到。OK， 明白啦，知道你啲 data 點樣嚟。好，而家轉過去俾 Roland。Roland 有冇問題想問？
有幾個 Thank you, Amice. My first question is around the data accuracy, because it sounds like some of the data is being used through the API to go into underwriting models. Has there been an issue with accuracy? So I guess a following question would be, have you had time to do any back testing? So say you're assuming you follow your algorithm, you eat a certain diet. What have you back tested? How have you done it, and how accurate is it, so that the insurers can create more accurate products around your data?
Okay. So we have, as I have mentioned, we start developing our solution with some very reliable open source data, which involve an actual clinic health check of a large group of people, talking about 40,000 people. And with it, we have follow some normal AI machine learning procedure to divide our data into test set and also the training set. So we verify our algorithm with our testing data as well. So and it results in quite a good accuracy. In fact, we have compared our error rates with others similar study that is published by other university. Because honestly, we are not the first person to do this kind of estimations to predict a person's health. But we try to make it more personal, more commercialized, and also because our team has a registered dietitian, and myself also have some education background on nutrition. We analyze our data not just from very technically big data analytic with some programming, but we also verify our data in different angle from the nutrition area, from the human physiology angle, to make sure our data is accurate. Yeah.
Got it. Understood. And to clarify, your business is mainly B2B, right? So you'll continue working, and it's not B2C.
Not B2C. You see our demo video is an app, which is really an app that we have launched. But the purpose of this app is just to support our B2B sales, so that user can experience it, our B2B client can experience it. And also we have hidden some of the features on the app. If user want to enjoy our full features, they have to pay. So it's also another way to protect our B2B business. So the B2C app, the Showcase app, is mainly for marketing, I would say.
I see. And my final question on the B2B business model, are you selling just API access, so it's almost a fixed fee, or do you have a way to increase revenue per, say, insurance company? And if you can increase your revenue, how do you do that? How would you do that?
Final 30 seconds for these questions.
Okay, so we would enrich the features of our algorithm. For example, as mentioned, we would provide like the healthy meal finder, so user could keep on increase the subscription with more features. And in this stage, we work very closely with each enterprise client to make sure they use our API happily, and also to discuss how I can help them to increase the usage from their end user.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
好，我哋下一個隊伍咧就係 Eva。Eva 係一個智能家庭農業系統。
Eva is a smart home farming system. Please welcome our next team, Francois. So Francois, you can share your screen and unmute your mic. Your mic.
Hi everyone. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Hi everyone. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk home gardening. So home farming, home gardening is a big market. The issue is that most of the time it doesn't work, and there's two reasons for that. It's because it's chemistry. So when the system is very, very small, quickly the the system can go wrong very fast. It comes down to chemistry. And on the other side, we have aquaponics system, hydroponics system, big farm in greenhouses that work very well because they have the right amount of nutrients, and it's because it's a very big scale, so it works very well. So there must be something in between, and this is where EVA comes in. So EVA means life, and this is EVA. So the way it works is very simple. The fish feed the plants, and the plants feed the fish. So we have one full cycle, and then the second one is that the light and the air creates the photosynthesis and purify the air and create the glucose to grow the food. So you can grow food. You can also grow some house plants and also some floral ornaments. But the cool thing about it is that it's full of sensors. So we have a lot of sensors for the garden and for the fish tank. And with this, we can do a lot. So we can have access to the light. We can control the light to simulate sunrise and sunset. We can monitor the air temperature and humidity, the humidity of the air, the water as well. We have a water level sensor. So that helps because we can quickly say how much water has been evaporated and what's the volume we have to put in. We can tell if someone puts too much food for the fish. We have access to the pumps remotely. So that's one thing. But what's cool about this is all those data, we analyze this data and we can predict roughly before something goes wrong. And this is why it gets interesting is we have a well-being rate from A+ to D. And according to the state of EVA, we can predict if it's going to go well or not. And we can tip the consumer on how to fix before it is too late. And you can also compare yourself with the community. You can also control with OK Google or Alexa and connect to services like Google Home or if this then that. So if there's a motion sensor trigger, then you can switch on the light. Or if the temperature of the room is reaches a certain point, then you can control your thermostat or your air conditioner. So this is a product meant for hotels, restaurants, big spaces, airports, schools, co-working spaces. But it's also can also be B2C in a nice house. So we have some partners. So a few partners, Teyk for the electronics, the coding machine doing the app. Source of Asia, this is to manufacture the product, packaging, logistics, and marketing. We have many partners. On in all, we're probably 30. So we have a design patent, we have an invention patent, and some recognition. And we have a very small team. So my name is Francois. I'm a designer, and I work with this project with a good friend of mine, Frédéric, fantastic robotic engineer. And if we have time, I can show you a small video. Thank you.
Thank you, Francois. Let's pass the time to Roland and Erica.
Thank you, Francois. I have to tell you, I love it. We have a hydroponic at Cocoon, and I can't wait to get EVA. Like, there's nothing I don't like about it. I want to get one at home. I want to put one with my kids, and I want to put one at work. So with hardware, where we really believe in great design, and then after that comes distribution. How are you guys getting out into the world, and what does cost look like for you at retail?
Yeah, so the numbers I have numbers for 500, 1,000, and 2,000 units. So it's economy of scale. I'm targeting now the retail price as 2,300 USD. But that's for 400 units. If we secure orders for 2,000, we can lower the price to 1,500 USD. And what's expensive is you're absolutely right, is the logistic. So door to door, like factory to the US, for instance, it's 400 USD, and it's the last mile that is expensive. The last miles are from the port Los Angeles to Denver, for instance. It's 350 USD the delivery, because it's a big product. The delivery accounts for
That's good to know. Have you thought about making a smaller version, like a tabletop or like a?
Yes, but everybody is but that's the thing, is it doesn't work. I mean, it works if you know what you're doing, but it comes down to chemistry, because it's having a small fish tank. It looks nice, but it can go wrong very quickly, and the reason why is because it's a balance, that it's a constant fight in the water between oxygen and nitrates, and then phosphorus, and then ammonia, and everybody wants to have their say, and that's why quickly the water can turn green or yellow. So this is 8 gallon, and 8 gallon is a safe volume to have a system that can balance up easier. Yeah.
So the base carries 8 gallon water.
The base carries 8 gallon plus the garden. The garden is I'm going to talk kilogram. It's 20 kilo all in all. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I know this is like something that would be really, really cool inside spaces. Now, kind of similar to the question I asked about Robo, what are some of your consumables? Are there pods that you sell? Are there nutrient pods that you sell?
Yeah, so because we have access to the data of with the sensors, we can actually predict, and we can tell what's missing inside the water. We have pH, we have a pH sensor, we have ORP sensor. All those sensors can give us an idea of what's missing or what's too much in the water. And yes, you're right. It's a good idea. It would be a good idea to have a subscription base, or if the water is missing something, then we can ship directly to the consumer. That would be a business model.
Awesome. Thank you, Francois. I'm going to turn it over to Roland.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you, Francois. Erica's right. We have our own little indoor thing at Cocoon because we all love planting. We all love eating. My question is, given the price, obviously it's for great design. I'm talking about the potential future retail price for this. What's the yield on the actual growth? Say I'm doing edible vegetables. How much can I feed? Do you measure by weight, by cycles? How much can I get out of the edible side of this design, of this indoor farming system?
It's a very good question. I do not have the answer. I don't know. I haven't tested it.
I only ask that as my final question is, I only ask that because when I look at something as beautiful as this, there's obviously both the aesthetics, how it looks, as well as the practical, what can I do with it? In that sense, how are you thinking about it as a designer? Is it more like Bang & Olufsen, like it's so beautiful that it's okay if...
Yes, it's a design statement. It's a design statement, and I'm showing food now, but ultimately it's actually to grow just plants, very nice, even flowers, nice flowers. Or the prototype we have here at Campfire, we just grow plants inside, and the plants just thrive. The food, obviously this is not a product to feed a family of 4, and it's not meant to be this, but you can grow some herbs. It's nice to have fresh herbs. You can grow some cherry tomatoes for fun, but you're right, it's not a functional product in the sense that it's not a home farming system to feed a family. So it's more, it's a design piece. You're right.
Got it.
Design statement. So that's why that's why it's more B2B. It's a source of light. Here, people go around. It's like a fireplace, like a fountain. People go around during their break at work. It's nice to be around the light and all. Yeah.
Thank you, Francois.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. So we have a question from the audience. Will the water chamber be too crowded if the fish grows bigger?
It's a good question. So you can grow different kind of fish inside EVA. I would recommend to grow the guppy family, and guppy needs 1 gallon of water per 1 gallon of water per guppy. So it's 8 gallons. So I would recommend 8 guppies. And the photo you're seeing now is it's a golden fish, and golden fish, they grow according to the space they have. They're quite amazing. The body would grow according to the space they have around them, and also how many fish there are around them.
And we have one more question. They would like to know, what does the fish eat?
They eat. They can actually. You don't have to feed them every day, as you would do with a normal fish tank. They actually eat the roots of the plant, break down the ammonia into nitrates and nitrates, and they eat the nitrates. So they feed themselves. If the balance is right, you actually don't need to feed them. I haven't fed my fish for 3 weeks maybe, and they're still alive. But I would still recommend to feed every 2 weeks or every week a little bit of food. But it's basically what happened in a lake. In a lake, no one goes and feed the fish in the lake. You have this symbiosis going on. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
now we're going to move on to our next team.
好啦，嚟到最後一個隊伍啦 ，iRobot 咧係一家監督同埋監管技術科技嘅公司，專注於全球範圍內嘅反洗錢控制，了解客戶嘅現狀，融合咗拉丁語同埋非拉丁語嘅特色。
iRobot is a supervisory and regulatory technology company. They specialize in AML and KYC, and they control status quo, uplift globally, and blending specifically Latin and non-Latin natively. So let's welcome Andre. So Andre, you can share your screen and unmute your mic. Oh, your mic is still muted.
Okay, so let me unmute.
You can press Ctrl L for full screen.
So this is, I'm using a PDF right now. So this is the full screen, I believe.
Okay, no problem.
Let's see. I'm trying. Oh, okay, it's working. Great.
Great, you can start now.
Hello, everyone. I'm the CEO of ReHealthier. We are a Tech, Fintech, RegTech company. We create standard-defining technology that disrupt and uplift the current status quo of AML KYC control globally. Our purpose here today is to look for investor funding, and our mission and vision are very clear. We are in the KYC market to fight against financial crime globally, and we believe there are some gaps that we need to fill to address the industry pain point pertaining to the non-Latin characters control for KYC AML. We are a B2B business. We're targeting financial services, corporates in terms of our service subscription as a service-based software. We have two products. We have E2AML for rating and testing of AML KYC screening systems. We also have the screening system for Chinese character and English, also other non-Latin characters, together with the open API with Jekyll right now. Just to give you where we are in the competition landscape, we are on the rating side, we compete with Swift and AML Analytics. And on the screening side, we'll be the major global sanctioned screening provider like WellCheck, LexisNexis, or WaterScrew, etc. So why are we here? How do we differentiate from our big players? We are competing with really giant technology firm. The reason we see that there's a perfect storm happening in APAC, especially pertaining to US-China tension. There's a mandate from our presidency about local technologies. A good analogy will be talking about credit rating. Right now, TransUnion has been really the only provider for the credit rating, but up and coming, there will be more rating agency locally happen. So we want to apply the same analogy into AML control. And also some of the new POC from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority about the central bank digital currency, the commercial data exchange, they all will be the perfect storm for us to implement a solution to fill the gap in terms of doing a better AML control for Latin and non-Latin characters. Our technology actually, it's like this. We are right now getting our patent. Really, it's about the screening of Chinese character as a start. Right now, the technology has been very English-centric, so they transliterate any Chinese character into English and perform the matching. This is actually not accurate, and it's an industry major issue. It's been aware by the regulator, even beyond Hong Kong. For example, the Dutch Authority of Financial Services. And we're actually getting this native screening technology into the screening and rating. And we actually been in talks even with some of the major screening services provider, to license our solution. So we have really good potential as a very disruptive technology. And we are very boldly to believe that we are in the outer light gray circle because the current AML market hasn't included the non-Latin control because it's been like a big ignorance in the market globally. And we believe we are the market leader. We are actually unique in terms of this extra 1 billion market size, not just serving the FSI, but also healthcare, IT, government, and others. Looking at our existing client interactions, we already are beyond Hong Kong. So we've been talking to tier 1 and tier 2 banks. We already have some banks already using our solution in production. It's surprisingly, our first set of clients are the virtual asset service provider, the crypto. One of the prominent one is the crypto. They actually turn around the reputation for our solutions. And we're also talking to some other tier 1 banks as well. So we have some really great pipeline coming up. And because we are RegTech, we must get some collaboration with the regulator. And right now we're having, I think it's unannounced, we are going to have some collaboration with some of the regulators that you can see in the names here, and also banks and also associations. And about our team, I'm the CEO. We got a really good academic credential from Kellogg Hong Kong USD MBA, from Oxford University. We also have some really top tier industry leader from Morgan Stanley, people from law degree doing algo trading, also Fortune 100 general management. So we also have great designer from College of St. Martin. So we actually have a lot of expert in-house for us to really disrupt the market globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, team. Let's pass the time to Roland and Erica.
Hey, Andre. Thank you for
Hi,
the
hi,
presentation.
Roland, Erica.
Hi. Can you tell us more about the genesis of this idea? Why did you start it? What was the main problem that you personally faced, or observed the opportunity?
Great questions. That's really my passion. I'm here to address the really long-standing industry pain point that has already raised over a decade. There has been a great ignorance by the market, the current technology giants, because they believe English is still the primary language for AML controls. However, the trend has changed because of the perfect storm. And we already tested this value proposition with the regulator and some of the tier 1 and tier 2 banks. They all told me that they agree with this problem and they're looking for solution, but no solution available right now. I've been teaching with like one of the top 3 Chinese-based banks in Hong Kong on RegTech to the senior management. They also acknowledge the same issue.
Got it. Okay, good to know. Head of sales at Apex Cinderella. So can you tell us more about what is your plan in rolling out Arrive in Asia, APAC?
Right. We are strategically based in Hong Kong and the GBA because we believe that we need local technologies that will firstly serve the APAC market. and then we'll go global. And we already have our footprint in Spain and Netherlands because we have a branch office there. So we are already talking to we have to influence the regulator there because Chinese people are everywhere in the globe. And so to quickly, in the next 18 months, we need to raise sizable funding for to expand our team in R&D and sales operation because we have some really key like sandbox or even POC project with the regulator up and coming. And even for Fintech, we believe that our solution will be used by the regulator to inspect the banks on that collection or even committed review. And we're in talks with the regulator and also, let's say, the government senior management or senior officials.
Got it. Thank you, Andre. Like a big project here. I'm going to turn it over to Roland to ask more questions.
Hi, Roland.
Hey, Andre. Thank you for that. I've got two main questions. My first one is clarifying between your KYC product and your AML product. It sounds like the presentation was a lot about AML.
Right.
So is there something separate for KYC, or is it just run under the same kind of flow, same process?
Yes. This is actually the same umbrella. So we're talking about KYC. We are talking under the umbrella of anti-money laundering control. So that will be like a client name screening and the transaction monitoring, transaction screening. That is a typical process that the bank has to go through for regulatory compliance.
Got it. Understood. Now, the second question therefore actually relates to what is actually done for AML, identifying the client and transaction screening, source of income, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Is your solution, it sounds like, is it trying to address the problem with the client screening part, the client identification part, because of the Chinese names? Is that the focus of the solution, or do you also do something in the transaction monitoring side?
Okay, right now we haven't touched the transaction monitoring. We will be in our roadmap, but we believe the fundamental issue is on the name screening, which is like a major issue for basically, if you ask any banks about Chinese screening, they will tell you there's noise and it's not too accurate. So we believe even just focusing on name screening to begin with, it will already be a huge market because we are promoting us as a add-on for Chinese screening and even a replacement to existing screening tool. Of course, we need to build reputation, but we are working really hard to build reputation in the industry and with the government and regulators.
Got it. Actually, that does remind me of my final third question, which is definitely, I think the problem statement you mentioned there for Chinese name screening is challenging. So as an investor, I'll be thinking, as you're addressing that problem, but later on, there are more other things to address. Are you looking to be the best in class for Chinese or non-Latin name screening and eventually sell that solution to, say, one of your competitors? Or do you plan to expand your business to then compete directly with existing solutions in the market?
In a short-term way, we may license in a short time frame with those big players just to gain our reputation. Or even we actually even may be interested for them to invest in our company partially. So that other investor can see that we really get a real traction from the industry expert. But we are not interested in just kind of white label for those big players. We actually ambitiously want to build our own independent screening system that will become the major brand for the financial institution here and global.
Got it. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
Thank you, teams.
多謝大家嘅參與。如果你都想展示你嘅創業理念咧，就快啲報名參加我哋嘅 pitch 啦。而家我哋都好歡迎大家去我哋 Cocoon 嘅虛擬辦公室同我哋嘅 pitch team 有其他嘅交流嘅。
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the pitch teams. It's now time to vote for your favorite pitch team. You should see a pop-up window now. Click to vote for your favorite team, and our next round pitch is open for application. If you want to pitch at our stage, send your deck to pitch@hkcocoon.org. Now we'll have our networking session, so meet and chat with our teams and members at our Cocoon virtual office. You should see the link at the chat room now as well. We'll see you there. Bye!